Kia ora, this is Arun Jacob, your friendly and frank licensed New Zealand immigration advisor as well as education advisor. Coming live again this week from the beautiful city of Hamilton in New Zealand. As you guys know, those of you who follow the work of my team at AJV, we come live week after week to provide the best information we can about New Zealand education and migration possibilities. And that's because we are licensed immigration advisors. That's my license from the government of New Zealand that enables me to come online and provide my advice, and also in person if somebody walks into our office here at Hamilton, or if I happen to meet somebody outside. So that's the way it is. And I'm coming live as every week on Instagram. Hello, Instagrammers. And on Facebook and on YouTube. So I'm coming live on our official AJV Global page called AJV Global. Oh, so smart. And I'm also coming live on our official channel, AJV Global, on YouTube, and my own channel, which is called Arun Jacob. So that's all it is. And of course, it's a pleasure to start coming live on Instagram as well, which I come live by using my phone, and then I use my laptop for Facebook and YouTube. It's working pretty well. Technology is really helping us to reach out to all you wonderful, beautiful people who are looking at creating a future in this wonderful, beautiful country. So it's working really well. What was I up to over the weekend? I hope everybody had a good weekend. I was in Auckland. I went to meet one of our, one of the really, really old AJV students who is now very successfully established here in New Zealand. So he and his wife were quite keen to talk to me about some business prospects to align with AJV. So I went and spent a wonderful evening with my ex-student and now very popular and very successful business person. And it was great to go catch up with him in his new home. And it's such a great moment to be able to see the success that our students are achieving here in New Zealand. So for those of you, all of you who are watching it right now and wondering, will I ever reach that point where I will successfully succeed and settle down in New Zealand? I just came back from the home of one of my successful students where I spent a night, and we had a great, great conversation, and beautiful home with tons of technology. And it was like, we were like boys with toys, fiddling with all the technology and stuff. So yeah, absolutely. If you're a good, honest, committed, intelligent student who comes to New Zealand, and with the help of a company like AJV, I bet you can see success, because a lot of our students are seeing immense success, and I don't see any reason why. Yeah, those of you who chose to come to New Zealand will also not see that success. So yeah, very happy, and we are being very particular about the kind of students we work with. Yes, we are a business, and we need to make profits at the end of the day, but we are being very particular because as a company we understand that what you guys are looking at is definitely education, but that is not the end goal for most of you. You are looking at getting that residency in New Zealand. So we don't look at you as just students. We and so which a lot of other companies just give you the admission and the visa, and then they say bye bye and send you away. That's it. There is no longer any contact with them. We understand that you're not looking at only the successful completion of the course, but you're looking at getting that post-study work visa, getting a job, and getting eventually to that resident visa. And that's why, as a company of 36 people spread across the world, New Zealand, India, Oman, as well as UK, we are completely in sync with your desires, and we will walk with you at each step and ensure that you go from step to step successfully, from student to post-study work visa to employment to residency. And that's what I think is the reason that AJV is growing very significantly year on year. And more people are realizing that, okay, most of the companies are only providing admission and visa, and then it is tata bye bye. But AJV is working with them throughout their journey. And look at me, I went to one of my students' home over the weekend after almost, I think, 12 or 13 years. He came as a rookie student and is now well established and wanting to do some business with AJV. So that's the kind of relationships we like to build. So if you guys are smart, that's where That's where you need to look. Okay. So before I start with any questions today, I'm gonna uh, answer one of the questions from one of our students, prospective students called Sabina, who is about to come to New Zealand. And so, I mean, she emailed me. She's not, I don't know if she's present on this live session at the moment, but I thought I'm going to answer her question by opening the session with a good a response to one of our students. And Sabina asked that she writes beautifully, by the way, and she writes, as the wise Winston Churchill said, now this is not the end, it is not even the beginning of the end, but it is perhaps the end of the beginning. Beautifully said, Sabina. And that I think it absolutely is joyful to meet and work with these high quality client students who go on to become fantastic friends after they come into New Zealand. And so she tells me that she's working closely with one of my colleagues called Grace to collate her visa documents, and she wants to know if I can provide any advice on whether or suggest any video on whether I should look at how she needs to prepare for a visa interview. Well, Sabina, to be honest, by and large, the visa interview is not a mandatory step. Quite a lot of our students actually end up getting a visa without immigration officers actually conducting the interview, because the way we present the case and the your own background with good documentation and everything, and the way we present the case, by and large, a visa officer looks at the whole application and says, "Hey, everything I wanted to arrive at a decision is right here." So, and that's the beauty of working with a company like AGV, because we take a lot of put in a lot of effort to make sure that we put something called decision ready files in front of immigration New Zealand. So more than likely you will not have an interview. But if there is an interview, all I can tell you is be confident, be truthful, because visa officers like people to be truthful. Does not matter what it is. There's no need to hide behind falsities. But let's say you had a gap in your work because you were not well, or there was some family emergency. Just talk about it. Just be truthful, because they are trained to understand who is telling the truth and who is not telling the truth, and just talk about it casually, like how you and I would have a conversation. If, let's say, I meet you across the table and I'm asking you questions about, so where did you do your schooling, what kind of score did you get, then which college did you go to, what's the career you embarked upon, why did you choose that particular career, and then why are you choosing this particular course, what are your intentions after you complete this course, so on and so forth. Just go on and answer. And don't ever hesitate to say that I will study this course, and I will also look forward to getting the post-study work, which will give me very valuable international experience in a fantastic country like New Zealand. After completing that, let's see where I end up. If I like New Zealand and I continue to want to stay there, then perhaps, and if I've reached the right stage of salary and position by the time in those 3 years, then I might consider opting for residency, or else I will look for opportunities in some other part of the world, or just come back to India. So just be truthful, just be honest, and just be casual and be confident. That's the best advice I can give Sabina and the rest of our AGV students who are wondering how they need to answer questions in the interview. That's the way, guys. Confident, truthful, straightforward, and just talk openly about all your plans. No problem if you have to say that eventually I might want to look at residency, but that let's see how it progresses step by step. Don't sound desperate, like you're only looking at residency and nothing else. Tell them, I'd like to look at this particular course and see how it will help me in my career, whether I stay back in New Zealand or I come back to India. And they will definitely probe you around the course. And so you'll need to know what are the papers in that course and how you link it to your past experience or qualifications. So yeah, not just that kind of thing. And anyway, as an AGV client, you will also have a mock interview with one of the visa officers from AGV, or even from one of the team leaders. And all our team leaders are ex-immigration officers. So you are going to get the benefit of somebody who worked with INZ, and they have done hundreds of these interviews, and I'm sure they'll be able to, train you. But like I said, somebody like you who quotes Winston Churchill will require very little training. All right. All the best, Sabina. Okay, moving on. Kevin Alexander Roche, my dear friend. Hey, Kevin, hope you're doing well, buddy. Says, hey, Aaron, hope you got rid of your cough and cold. Absolutely, Kevin. And I think I got back into a little bit of working out after this whole year was partying like crazy. And I put on, look at me, I've become like a pig. And so this year it started with a bang with a massive party. I did a 1 month party at the start of the year. What I took two of my friends from New Zealand to India, and we did a road trip, and we ended up in Goa and all kinds of places. And we were just partying like mad dogs. And that's the reason I ended up putting on. And I think a lot of my cold and cough, I now realize, was probably also triggered by the fact that I put on weight around all the wrong places. And I think there was a bit of reflux coming on, and that's why my throat used to get irritated quite quickly. So but now I started working out since a few days ago, and I've been on a diet. And guess who's put me on a diet in my exercise plan? An AJV student. Absolutely, yes. So we're becoming this little beautiful little universe of everything AJV. So right now, my trainer is also an AJV student who is well versed in body building and those kinds of things. So yeah, I'm very thankful for all the little privileges of being in this wonderful line of activity and meeting such wonderful people who can assist me with my health. But thanks for asking, Kevin, and hope to see you here in New Zealand soon, Matt. And I hope you will also be able to provide some tips to me as I'm getting older. Maybe all the young fellows can teach me to stay a little bit active. All right. Quickly checking to see if my team is there. Yeah, they all seem to be there, but nobody has typed anything. So at the moment, I seem to be alone in this universe. But yeah, George Matthew asks, could you please give suggestions about Toy Ohomai Masters, Applied Professional Studies, Mentoring and Leadership? I have done MSW and have 7 years work experience. What are the job opportunities and how many years I can stay there as part of the study? George, you have not mentioned whether you are an AGV student or not, because we insist that, these live sessions are essentially meant for AGV students and clients who like to clear their doubts with a licensed immigration advisor from the company, which is either myself or Tulika Mehra, who is also an ex-immigration officer. She's a licensed advisor now, and Mary Joseph, who is our senior manager and also a licensed advisor. And one more of our colleagues called Navya Sikka, who is also an ex-immigration officer, is on the verge of getting her license as well. So these interactions we create, George's, these live sessions that we create is essentially for our AJV students who are like, Sabina, for instance. You wanted to know, how do I prepare for a video for an interview call if I get one from the immigration department? So that's the reason we insist and ask you to please confirm whether you're an AJV student. If you're not an AJV student, we will still answer your questions, but we would like to have your contact number so that we can talk to you after this particular session is over. I will definitely answer, but if you have your number, then we will definitely our team will reach out to you and explain to you why it might make sense for you to work with a company like AJV, because you sound like a serious student, George, because you have some very good questions, by the way, and I think your background also is pretty good. I'd love to answer your question, but please confirm whether you are an AJV student. If not, please at least share your contact number. And once we have your contact number, I'll definitely come back and answer your question, George. All right, cool. All right, next question is from Sunando Basu. Hey, guys, team, just let me know if I'm doing all right on all the streams. I seem to be doing all right on Facebook, and on both the YouTube live streams as well. Okay, I think we are doing all right at the moment. So Sunando Basu asks me, uh, team, can you confirm if George Matthew is one of our clients so that I can answer his question? He says that he has shared my number, but he is still not confirmed if he is an AJV client or not. So I'd like our team to my team to confirm, please. Okay, cool. In the meantime, I'm going to answer Sunando Basu's question. And Sunando asks, Sunanda asks, hello, Arun. We are AJV client. My visa application has been allocated to a case officer. However, my children's applications as my dependents are still in the queue. We filed as a group. Is this a concern? The visa I have applied is partner of student work visa. Absolutely not, Sunando. I mean, because by and large, the two primary visas in a group would be the student and the partner. Because by and large, children, don't have legal issues. They hardly ever have health issues. So the children practically, if mom and dad get their visas, pretty much by default, the kids will get it, unless and until they find something critical in the medical reports or something like that. But yeah, by and large, it's not a concern at all. Not being allocated is also not a concern at this point, because if your case has been allocated and if your case gets decided very quickly, then it's only a matter of a couple of days. Because, like I said, children's visas don't really take a lot of time. From my experience, 15 years in the industry, I've noticed that once the dependent partners visa is approved, then very quickly the children's visas are approved. And touch wood, but so far we've never ever had any concern with any of the children's visa applications that we have, kind of put forward to Immigration New Zealand. So absolutely not a concern, Sanando. So if your application is, and once yours is decided, the Immigration New Zealand itself will know through their system that there are two more dependent children who are also tagged to your to your application. So they'll pull it out quickly out of the queue, and out of turn they will allocate it to somebody. And once yours is decided, we would also have the legitimate, good, legitimate, strong reason to get in touch with immigration and request them to get your students one as well. And that's the beauty of working with a company like AGV, because we are very thorough with the work we do, and we have maintained a very cordial and very professional relationship with Immigration New Zealand for many many years. And I'm sure they respect the work we do. And so when we reach out to them, they're always quite accommodating. And they say, yeah, we understand, mom and dad have got the visa, so why not the kids? So absolutely nothing to worry about. So on that, I hope to see your beautiful family here in New Zealand. So all right, continue to stay in touch with the AJB team. Excellent. Moving on. Team, I still need to know about George Matthew, please. I need to get a quick update whether George is one of our clients or not, because he says he also spoke to Valerian and Grace. So please check and confirm to me so that I can answer his question. Moving on, Kevin comes back and asks me, I don't know, I'm trying to apply for universities in Otago, Lincoln, AUT, and I have looked at the fees. My concern here uh, is does it include university accommodation? No, not really, Kevin. The fees is not inclusive of accommodation, and if there is accommodation included, it will be clearly mentioned. There are one or two institutions in New Zealand which I think build in the accommodation component into the fee. I mean, I can think of at least one institution, but Otago and Lincoln and AUT do not include accommodation into their fees, and you will have to pay separately for that. But hey, look, once you get your visa approved, we will connect you to some of our, depending on whether you're going to Otago or Lincoln or AUT, we will connect you to one or some of our existing clients in these cities. And yeah, you could, end up flatting with somebody, which is sharing an apartment or a house. Basically, we call it flatting here. It's called a flatting arrangement. So it's a very common thing, especially among students and international students. We do a lot of flatting arrangements here. So we know once your visa is approved, we'll put you in contact with, and we have one of our colleagues here in New Zealand called Anjana, who is also an AGV student, who is now coordinating all these issues for our students about to come to New Zealand and those who have already landed here. So she is your guardian angel once you get your visa approval. Guardian angel. Oh, that's actually a good one. Maybe we should start calling her Guardian Angel Anjana. So yeah, she's going to take over and help you with it. But nope, the answer to your question is no, you do not have accommodation as part of the fees. All right, cool. Moving on. My team has still not told me about George. So, George, you'll have to wait, George, or you'll have to confirm whether you're an AJV student or not. So, then I'll be able to answer your question. You're only saying you spoke to my colleagues, but you're not saying whether you're working with us. So, right, moving on. Right, okay. So, George, it looks like you were working with us before, and then you kind of have not been in touch with us. So what I'm going to do is, and that's what I get from one of my team leaders as feedback, or Nisha Karmokar, one of my colleagues who works with us as an advisor, and she's a brilliant advisor, by the way. So she has said that you were earlier in touch with Valerie and Grace, but now she has sent you some more course links, but there has been no response after that. So George, it will be nice if you can respond because we know for us it becomes difficult to answer because the information I give you is, like I said, essentially meant for AJV clients. If others listen to it, it is by, by default, not by design. So like I said, so you have to please understand that we are mainly here to answer to AJV students. And so you, for all we know, you might have spoken to us, but you might be working with some other agency or with some other company. And for us, that's not a nice situation because, okay, so right. So it looks like you are not working with us any longer, George. So, Disha, could I suggest that you pick up the phone and talk to George and check if he's willing to come back, and I'll be more than happy to answer his question. All right, Tulika and Akanksha, you can advise Nisha to have a quick call with George and check and confirm to me, and then I'll move on. All right, cool. Okay, okay. Moving on. Jyotsna Murthy very nicely shares her contact number. Thanks, Jyotsna. See, that's all I need. I need your contact number and say, hey, look, we want to speak to somebody in AGV. That's all. And guys, we are not devils who will sit on your head and like say, oh, you spoke, give us your number, and you spoke to us, so you better come to New Zealand now. I mean, we get so many inquiries, we really don't care. But if they're good students, we would love to, work with you. And a lot of you talk to us, engage with us, and then you go to work with somebody else. Then you land in New Zealand, and then you realize, oh, there is nobody to help me. And that agency through who you came, that guy doesn't even have an existence here in New Zealand. And then you realize, gosh, I did a mistake. I should have gone through you. Then you guys reach out to us, and then we again have to say, sorry, we can't help you because you didn't come to New Zealand through us. To avoid all that, it's best that start your journey and end it with us as well. Simple as that, guys. If you're going to somebody else, just talk to those guys and ask them to give you this information that you ask now, or after you land here, you still want support, ask them, and more than likely you will not get any response from them. Okay. Josna Murthy. Hi, Josna. I have a gap of 3 years. And for one of those years, I do not have any proof. Would my student visa get rejected on that basis? I don't think so, Josna. Like I said, immigration officers are not people who are working with black and white saying, oh, she's got a gap, so I'll have to decline it and, throw it out. No, it doesn't work like that. We immigration officers are supposed to look at all the aspects, and if you have uh, a gap and you don't have any proof for that, talk to us. If you're going to file your application through AJV, then we will talk to you. Like I said, we have 7 or 8 immigration officers on our team at the moment. Just go to our website ajvglobal.com and go to the team page, and you will see all the contact details of all our current employees and team members. And you'll see there are a lot of ex-immigration officers on our team, and we will do an assessment. There are ex-immigration officers, licensed immigration advisors. We will take a look at all your, your thing. And actually, the kind of assessment we do will be very similar to the assessment that an immigration officer in New Zealand will do. And then once we believe in you, and we if you can explain to us and tell us, hey, look, this was the reason there was a gap in my studies, and that, but now I'm very keen to get back and do it. Then if we know for sure and we are convinced it was a genuine reason for that gap, I promise you we will fight for it. And we'll fight for it because, like I said, we once we believe in a client, we will take that fight, and we will take it all the way and ensure that our clients get that visa. All right. Cool. So I don't think gaps will be a problem as long as you can explain to us what it was, and it could be fine. It could say that I just went through a moment of depression in my life and I didn't feel like doing anything, so I just sat quietly at home for that whole year. So be it. If that is the truth, that is the truth, and a lot of people do go through things like that. So no problems, just now. So please contact us, or when one of our team members contacts, please have a good long conversation. Share your information clearly, and we will put our best foot forward to help you to get that student visa. All right, and we guys are really, really good at the work we do. So yeah, it'll be nice if you can get in touch with us. That's how you guys can get in touch with us. Contact number and toll-free number in India, toll-free number in New Zealand, email in India, email in New Zealand, and my sincere advice to all the people is try and contact the office that's in your time zone, because then you can get immediate responses. So if you're in some other time zone and if you contact the New Zealand office, we guys go to sleep by the time most of you wake up. So I mean, I'm probably the only guy who, and see, it's already 11 o'clock in the night for me. So, but yeah, what to do? As the guy who started this company, I just sit up and do whatever is required. But by and large, everybody else in New Zealand is sleeping. So, but if somebody wants an immediate answer right now, pick up the phone and give our India team a call, and somebody will respond to you immediately. I promise you that. That is the AJV promise. All right. Okay, well, let's see what's happening with George. George, nah, no update on George. Nisha, if you're listening in, just pick up the phone and speak to George and let me know, because I really want to answer this question, but I can't if he's not working with us and it's gone to somebody else. All right. But I would really like him to come back and work with us again, because, he seems like somebody who is doing well, and I might have a couple of concerns with the course he's choosing. So I really would like to advise him. Yeah. Okay. Abhishek Kumar Sharma, YouTube AJB client. Hi, Arun sir. How are you doing? Doing very, very well, Abhishek. I'm AJB, oh, AJB client. I think you wrote it as Java client. I was like, oh, okay, you're an IT guy. I think you were meaning to write AJB client. I'm Abhishek Sharma. I'm from India. I'm keen to study hospitality. I think you mean to say hospitality, although you've written hospital. Levels 5 and 6 course in New Zealand. Please assist me. Hey, Abhishek, we would love to work with you. Hospitality is a very important aspect of us here in New Zealand as a country. Tourism is our largest industry at the moment, and so there are millions of tourists who come to New Zealand every year, and because of that, tourism is our largest revenue earner at the moment. And when there is so much of tourism, hospitality has to grow with it, because when tourists come, they'll have to sleep somewhere, they'll have to eat somewhere, they'll have to do all their touristy things. So yeah, hospitality is a very good course to choose in New Zealand, and there are certain specific tourism orientated schools and colleges here in New Zealand. We would love to suggest some of them to you, Abhishek. Thanks for choosing AJB. You did a very smart thing, because a lot of our clients are already who came and did hospitality and tourism courses here in New Zealand are already successfully employed and working in New Zealand, and we would love to connect you to them once you come here, because it'll also help you to get a foothold in the industry and keep moving forward. So yeah, glad you asked me, Abhishek, because yep, very good choice. Hospitality is a very good course, and we would love to work with you. And 5 and 6 is also a good choice. And if you studied outside Auckland, you would also be eligible for a good, nice, long work visa. And in that time, I'm certain with your own talent and our sub onshore support, you will be able to succeed. All right, Abhishek. So please do talk to your AJV advisor. All right. Yeah. Cool. All right, Jitin Prasad. Hello, sir. My name is Jitin. I am an AJV client. Hi, Jitin. Wonderful to meet another AJV client. Like I said, this session is all about you guys and girls, and it's to say hello to you in person. And first of all, to say thank you for choosing to work with AGV because you guys have a lot of choice about which company to go through. But you've did your research and then came to a company like AGV. For that, we are very grateful, of course, and we will always support you in your journey. And you know, you guys will actually know the advantage after you come to New Zealand and you kind of walk into our office or meet the rest of the AGV clients. And you know, all AGV clients get a nice hoodie like this, for instance, we or a T-shirt or a cap, and you know, we kind of trying to do as many little things as we can. In fact, only today, our local onshore coordinator was talking to me and to our senior manager Mary about hosting a Christmas party. So yeah, we do all fun events and create good networking opportunities for our students, and at the same time also provide you continuous ongoing support. And most importantly, we provide tons of free immigration advice, which you know nobody can give you unless until they have a license. So I know a lot of you guys will get a lot of free immigration advice from myself or Mary or Virginia, who is another colleague of ours who is also working in New Zealand. And she's also an ex-immigration officer and also hopefully will get her license by February or March of next year. Okay. But coming back to your question, Jatin, like I said, thanks for choosing AGV. But accommodation per week in Hamilton, it could start from $100 per week. It could go up to 120. Depends on what level of spending you're willing to do. If you take up the university accommodation, most likely I think it's around the 150 160 range, and otherwise you can $150 or $160 per week. This is all right. Here most of the rents are paid in a week. And but if you meet somebody who's got a slightly smaller room, and maybe it's not fully furnished. It also depends on how furnished that room is, and whether internet is included in it, and all those kinds of things come in. So it can vary between 100 to 150, Jitin. But like I said, if your visa is already filed and waiting for your interview call, you may not get an interview call. As soon as your visa is approved, our team in India will connect you to our onshore team member called Anjana, who will then do a Skype call with you and take you through all the things that you need to look at. All right. So don't worry, we will have it sorted for you. Okay. Well, you're an HIV client, Jitin. You have nothing to worry about. We will ensure that it's all sorted. Right. Dr. Urmi Bhattacharjee says, I'm a government medical doctor of 10 years experience, now studying MPH in global health security in Yonsei University, Seoul, South Korea. Please tell me about prospect of PhD job in public health and PR in New Zealand. Hey, Urmi, good background. You obviously have a lot of experience, 10 years, and you already have completed your medicine, and you're doing a master's in public health from Korea, which of course is also a good country, and it's got a very high standard of academics as well. So good background overall. Scope for PhD in New Zealand will be very good because we are also trying to attract PhD students into New Zealand, because we want to have create the soft knowledge power kind of a base here in New Zealand, because we're not big into manufacturing and so on and so forth. So our identified future growth areas are software and ICT and creative industries and the biotechnology. So we're trying to create that soft power, so to speak. And so we want researchers. We want to create that good knowledge economy here in New Zealand. So, and in fact, I want you to go to my channel on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and type Arun Jacob, and you should be able to see my channel there. And go and see one of the most popular videos there called The Advantages of Doing a PhD in New Zealand. It explains all the advantages of what you can get, and if you're coming with your spouse and so on and so forth, then what are the advantages they'll have. Yeah, definitely. And I think with your kind of background and the kind of if you do a PhD here in New Zealand, you will also, I think jobs should be quite I think for somebody with your kind of background, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Can I get PR in New Zealand? Directly not possible, because there are two rules that you'll need. There are two boxes rather and one of them has to be ticked. Box number one says that you need to have an offer of a job in New Zealand or should already be employed in New Zealand. So you need to tick that box, or you should have studied in New Zealand for at least 2 years and completed a master's or a PhD. So one of these two boxes needs to be ticked. Plus, you also need to get 160 points, which is a kind of a combination of your age, your qualification, your background, where you worked, which industry you worked in, so on and so. So the PR is, and to get a job in New Zealand when you're not here is almost impossible. So the first box you cannot tick. So the only other box you can tick is to come and study in New Zealand, either come and do a course here. And if you do, it doesn't have to be a PhD. Even if you do a postgraduate diploma in New Zealand or above, which is postgraduate diploma or master's or a PhD, you will end up with a 3-year post-study work visa. In those 3 years, if you find a job, then you will tick that first box and you'll be able to apply for your PR. So it's all a little people think it's very easy to come and study and get a PR here in New Zealand. It is not, and that is the reason we have set up AJV, because and that's where we are kind of being very conscious of what is it that an international student really requires, and that's what we guys are doing. We are listening to you and understanding your needs and giving you that advice at each and every step, which I, to the best of my knowledge, no other company is doing at this moment. So thanks for getting in touch with us, Urmi, because you're in Seoul. I don't know if you have WhatsApp and stuff like that, but one of our teams will get in touch with you. They might even get in touch with you on Facebook. So please respond to them and we will take it forward from there. All right. But thanks for joining in and asking a question today. All right. Very cool. I am going to check from my team. Okay, Urmi, before I go on, my colleague Sachita, who is an advisor, has been trying to get in touch with you, Urmi, but apparently she's not able to connect on the number you have provided, which is in Seoul. Perhaps she is not using the right country code for South Korea, but if there is any other number or a WhatsApp number or whatever. And Jyoti, if you could also paste Sajita's WhatsApp number below Urmi's query, then we can take it forward from there. All right, cool. Mohammad Hussein asks me, can you please send me the updated version of the information for the education immigration process? Nothing very updated as such, Mohammed. It has remained pretty much the same. So you come to New Zealand, you study a course, you pick the right course. Depending on your background, you can either go for a PhD or a master's or a postgraduate diploma or a graduate diploma or a bachelor's or a diploma. So these are all the areas you can study in, and possibly even certificates in certain under certain circumstances you might even be able to go for a 2-year certificate course. And once you do that, depending on whether you've studied in Auckland or outside Auckland, you'll get a 1, 2, or 3 years post-study work visa. In that 3 years or 1 year or 2 years post-study work visa period, you will need to find a job that is relevant to the course you have completed and also be able to get the required amount of salary, which at the moment stands at $52,000. If you do that, then you can apply for your residency. And after you get your residency and you stay in New Zealand for 2 years and prove your commitment to the country, you get your PR. So that's pretty much the process. It's not as simple as what I just recited in the last 1 minute, but that's that's like the outline. But there's a lot of filling in you will have to do before you get from point A to point B, and that's where from point, or maybe I should say from point A to point V, because if you want to get from point A to point V, you need a J in the middle, and that's where you will end up going from point A to point B. But get in touch with our team, Mohammed, and we will give you much more detailed information, and we'll take it forward from there. All right, cool. All right. Afzal Hussein, Hi, I'm AGV student. Hi, Afzal. What a lucky boy you are. What a smart boy you are, too, to choose to become an AGV student. Well done. Jokes apart, thank you so much for being an AGV student. I would like to know the current timeline for visa approval. I'm currently waiting offer from the university for Masters in Construction Management. Fantastic course. Well done. Very, very, very well done. We are quite desperately short of people in the construction industry, and if you're coming for Masters in Construction Management, I think you will definitely go on to address some of our skilled migrant needs here in New Zealand. So very good course choice, and I'm sure you've also chosen a good university. Timelines, I think it has come down quite well, quite nicely now, because there was a bit of a crisis a few months ago with Immigration New Zealand rearranging some of their offices, and there was also a shortage of staff, so they kind of had to recruit people on a war footing. But I recently received a circular from Immigration New Zealand, where it said that they have worked diligently to bring down the time it's taking to allocate an application, and I think they've brought it down to 2 weeks, which is fantastic. So yeah, don't think it will take you too long. I'd say maybe 4 weeks is how long it might take. But again, I don't want to over commit. So be prepared mentally for at least a 4 to 12 week kind of a wait, and especially if there is a spouse and kids involved, it might take that amount of time. But if you're just a single guy and you're applying for visa, I'd say 4 to 12 weeks it should happen. All right. So, and if you're coming for the February intake, Afzal, I think you're starting doing this at the right moment, because we'll have a lot of time to be able to process the whole thing. All right. Well done, buddy. Very glad that you chose to work with AJB. In fact, I'll connect you to one of our star uh, pupil students called Sadek, who also did a master's in construction management, and is doing exceptionally well. He's already a resident here in New Zealand. Okay, cool. All right, checking to see if I have any other inputs from my wonderful team. Kevin Alexander Roche comes back and says, "Hi, Arun. I'm planning to do a master's in business. However, I feel I'm very much qualified in the insurance as I hold an NZ insurance qualifications distance learning. Would like to know the scope of the sector in New Zealand." Okay, we are a highly insurance driven country, Kevin. In fact, somebody very, very close to me works for the insurance sector, and somebody in my family, and I get to hear great insurance stories all the time. But the insurance sector in New Zealand is very active, and there is a lot of insurance related stuff that happens in this country, because being an advanced Western, economy, it insurance plays a very, very crucial role, whether it is a business or individuals or so on and so on. I mean, when I bought this place, I couldn't have moved forward unless until there was insurance. It's also very beautifully streamlined, and I think it's an exciting field to be here in New Zealand. So once you're here, we'll connect you to some of the people in the insurance sector. It is fantastic that you already have an NZ insurance qualification through distance learning. I like people like you who kind of anticipate what might be required after you come to New Zealand, and then you start um, prepping for it beforehand. Well done, Kevin. I think you will do well. But overall, the sector is quite active and exciting here in New Zealand, and I can foresee with your background and also then doing a master's here locally in New Zealand. You'll be able to crack it. Don't worry about there's nothing like called being overqualified. It's about sitting across the table and telling people how you will benefit that company, and that company will then, of course, give you an offer. And I don't think they'd care whether you have a master's or a PhD. It's about how well you can communicate and tell them that, saying, "Hey, look, I had to do a master's, because that is was my pathway for me to get my family, or no, the pathway for me to get a 3 years post study work visa, which means you have certainty that I'll be around for at least minimum 3 years. And in those 3 years, if I grow up to the right level, I will also be able to apply for my residency and stay on back in New Zealand. Okay, so but good background, well done. I like I said, well done with your preparation of already getting a New Zealand insurance qualification. That is fantastic preparation. All right, cool. Sukhdeep Sidhu, is there is any PR chance in cookery? Absolutely, Sukhdeep, because I was just telling somebody else who asked me a question about hospitality, and Sukhdeep, you have shared your number, but what I want you to do, Sukhdeep, is tomorrow during office hours, call this number here in New Zealand. Okay, so that's 0800 696977, which translates to 0800 my NZPR, or 0800 696977, which translates to 0800, which is the toll free number calling here in New Zealand for. And 696977, if you check your dial pad on your phones, you'll see 696977 corresponds to MYNZPR. So we thought it was a very clever idea to get a toll free number which says 0800 MyNZPR. So call that tomorrow, Sudeep, and definitely good chances for people in cookery, because chefs are again in the skill shortage list of New Zealand. And like I was saying, telling somebody else, we are highly heavily dependent on tourism, and tourists will have to eat food, so they have to. You need to have lots of chefs. I mean, I remember I can think of so many chefs of ours who are doing so well in New Zealand, who came through AJB and are, and even some are gone on to work for government departments, like one of our star students who came and did a course in chef and cookery called Sharfuddin. He now works with the Navy of New Zealand, and he uploads beautiful pictures of him on those big, massive warships, and his cooking in the galley, as they call it. So yeah, good scope. So they call tomorrow on 0800 696977 and speak to Mary, who is our licensed immigration advisor, and she'll undertake an analysis of your background. And if you're eligible for a resident visa, we will definitely help you with that. All right. Thanks for asking. And please share with all your friends in New Zealand to attend my live sessions and Mary's, because there's so much good information that we give out. All right. And also the being in New Zealand, how most of you guys suffer without getting good, proper information. And unlike AJV students, those guys and girls are constantly picking up the phone and calling me or Mary or Virginia and saying, "What about this? What about that?" And we're telling them, "You can do this, you can do that." And they're all pretty happy chappies at the moment. Yeah. Ciso Dio. What a fantastic name. Okay. And it's I can't say from which part of the world, but it's starting with a +267. I don't know which part of the world that is, but yeah, thanks for coming and Ciso onto this live broadcast today. And your question is, hello, Aaron. My wife has a BA degree in accounting and ACCA qualified. Fantastic. She wants to do a PhD without a master's degree at Waikato. Her interest is PhD in finance. Is this something she can be able to do? All right. Hey, Ciso, I think by and large, it is understood that a master's would be required to be able to get into a PhD. But because she has got an ACCA, and I'm assuming she has also got work experience, perhaps it could be considered as RPL, which stands for recognition of prior learning, and that maybe we can present a case to the university saying, "Hey, look, this lady has got a bachelor's degree in accounting, and she's got an ACCA qualification, and she's got X number of years of work experience." So, and we can present that case, and we have a good working relationship with the University of Waikato. It's about 20 minutes away in that direction. I also live in Hamilton. For those of you who don't know, I live in this beautiful city called Hamilton here in New Zealand. So yeah, I think we should be able to stitch together a case and present it to the university. And if they accept, great. If they don't accept and they say she needs to at least do a postgraduate diploma before we can admit her into the PhD, then that's when you guys can sit back and take a call and decide whether you want to do it. But yeah, it's or even if it's a master's, if the university comes back, it's not a bad deal because if your wife actually does a master's in preparation to eventually go into a PhD, you will come to New Zealand on a full-fledged work visa as the partner of a student who is doing a master's, and whatever you spend towards a master's, you probably can recover because you'll be working full-time and she'll be working part-time and studying. So between both these earning people, you will actually recover that fees you pay towards the masters very quickly. In fact, a lot of couples who are coming to New Zealand through us are doing exceptionally well, and they are quite comfortable financially as well. So the money they invest, they recover in about 6 7 months time, and they're doing very well. And if you have kids, the kids will also end up getting free education here in New Zealand, and all those kinds of benefits are there. So please do consider seriously. I can't quite make out which country you're from. +267, I'm not sure, but yeah, I mean, glad to hear from you, and we would love to work with you, Sijo, and your wife. And do wait for a connect from the AJB team. And if they don't connect, just drop me an inbox message on Facebook, and I will connect you to one of our team members. All right. Thanks. Okay, we have some latecomers who are joining in now, and so welcome to Vignesh, Nikesh, Niklesh, Siddharth, Abraham. Yeah, quite a big bunch of guys suddenly came and joined. Anup says, "Hi, sir. I'm an AGV student. Hi, Anup. Always a pleasure to meet my students and say hello to them. Thank you so much for being an AGV student. I have done BCom and I have 2 years experience in accounting. Now I'm interested in hospitality. I have offer letter from QRC level 7 and PIMS level 8. Please suggest which level to opt for." Okay. Okay, Anup, because you do not have a background in hospitality earlier, going straight away to level 8 might stress you out with the course, because you really don't have much of an understanding about hospitality. So it might stress you out because you're suddenly going into a postgraduate diploma level, which is, ideally postgraduate diplomas are for people who already have some background or some kind of a bachelor's level degree. So that is the disadvantage of going straight into a level 8. A level 7 will be easier for you because it will kind of ease you in a bit more. The level of course will not be very high as compared to a level 8, and it might be a little easier on a person who is getting into hospitality without any background before. But the advantage of doing a level 8 is that you will end up with a 3 years post-study work visa. And with the level 7, I'm not sure, I'm thinking it's a 1 year course at level 7 and at QRC, you will end up with a 2 years post-study work visa. So at level 8, you get 1 year extra of post-study work visa. At level 7, you get only 2 years post-study. So, but a level 7 might be easier for you to study as against a level 8. So my suggestion to you and my recommendation to you is, if you are a very diligent student who can sit at a desk and crack this course, and you will study it with single-minded devotion and crack it, and tell yourself, yes, I have the competence and the caliber to crack this course, although I'm coming new into this field, go for the level 8. Okay. But if you're not confident and say, okay, hospitality is a new a subject for me, and if internally your heart will tell you, actually your gut will tell you, you'll get this gut feel, it's called the gut instinct, which tells you, oh, am I getting into something that is too heavy for me? If you're getting those kind of vibes, then I'd say go to level 7, because QRC is a fantastic institution. So is PIMS. But even if you're getting only a 2 years post-study work visa after studying at QRC, you will be studying in Queenstown, which is like the tourism capital of New Zealand. So I can see quite clearly that you will end up with very good opportunities as well. So that's the call you will need to take, Anup. So if you have that confidence you can crack level 8, go for level 8. If you're not very confident, I'd just stick to level 7. All right, cool. And we are here, Matt. We will connect you to people and try and get you into that level of achievement that you will require. All right. Okay, okay. Right. I already answered Anup's question, Akanksha. Hopefully, I put a smile on your face. Akanksha is one of our team leaders, ex-immigration officer from the Mumbai branch. Okay, where are we? Okay, so I have a question from GM who says he's an AGV client, and it says, is it difficult to get admitted at the University of Otago for LLM? Do you have clients who were not admitted for LLM? Okay, G, I must be honest, there are not a lot of people who come forward to do LLM in New Zealand, but I do remember some of our clients who came forward and did a master's in law in New Zealand, and not only in Otago, but they also went to Victoria University, which also has got a fantastic uh, yeah, School of Law at Victoria University, and also because Victoria University is located in Wellington, which is our political capital. The campus where they teach law is actually right opposite the Parliament building. So I remember some of our clients, G, went ahead and did their course from Victoria, and I can't remember anybody going to Otago, but I don't see that any reason why you will be rejected for an application, sorry, for an admission at University of Otago, because at the end of the day, University of Otago will admit any good student who has got the requisite background and the English skills required to be able to get into a master's level course. So I don't think there is any problem with an admission as such. Jay, and also, I don't think a master's in law is very heavily subscribed to, so there is not a lot of pressure on the admission process as well. So, by and I think overall, I think you should be all right. I don't know why you're not opting for a second option at Victoria. Please talk to your AGV advisor and try and see if you can create an option at as a second option at Victoria as well. All right, cool. All right. All right, moving on. Samuel Korean asks me, hi Arun, I'm Lavina. My husband and I are on work visa, and our children aged 14 and 16 are on dependent visitor visa. What's the process of school enrollment? Lavina, this doesn't really come under my normal Q&A, because this is a more procedural thing here in New Zealand. I don't know if you are one of our students, Lavina. Please don't mind if I can't remember you. If you are an AGB student, because we have had hundreds and thousands of students, so sometimes I can't remember the names of each and every one, although I try very hard to meet as many of them as possible. But if you're an AGV student, just give us a call on 0800 and we will gladly give you the information that you seek. But this particular forum may not be the right place for me to answer that question. All right. Yeah, because we have a good onshore support team. So if you are looking for admissions, we will actually give you our inputs, because I also have school kids with the same age, by the way, and I can also provide my personal inputs on that. But yeah, you'll need to call in and confirm if you're an AGV student. Then we will definitely put give our best advice to you. If you're not an AGV student, unfortunately, we may not be able to help you, because we are not a free information service organization. So please understand. All right. Thank you. Okay, Divi Saj says, Hi Arun sir, please clarify my doubt. If I'm continuing with my student visa and my husband under sponsorship visa in New Zealand, then will there be any problems in future while applied resident visa or PR? Also, is it possible for my husband to accompany our children along with him under sponsorship visa? And I think maybe I got some kind of mm, yeah, I think I've got some kind of an update that yeah, fantastic, Divi. I got confirmation that you're actually one of our AJV students and that you're working with my colleague Nisha, and that you're waiting for your unconditional offer letter and that your IELTS just came in. So well done, congratulations. So your question is, so there won't be. I mean, your question is if I'm continuing with my student visa and my husband under sponsorship visa, will there be any problems in future while applying? No, absolutely not. There will not be any problems. In fact, that is the logical progression. If in fact a lot of our, I don't know what's your husband's background, Divi, but if your husband's going to come here on a work visa and let's say, I'm just assuming, let's say he is a IT professional or an engineer or something like those technical areas, and he actually goes and cracks a job and he gets the required position and the required salary, he could actually apply for a resident visa while you're still a student. In fact, quite a few of our couples who came in while the one of the partners was still studying, the other partner got a job and applied for a resident visa, and they even got the residency even before. The partner completed the course. So absolutely no problem with that, Divi. Rest assured on that. And of course, you have the whole AGV team here in New Zealand to advise you, which is at the moment two licensed advisors and an ex-immigration officer and two, three other people. And of course, we have a big team back in India as well with whom we keep talking all the time. Your second question is it also possible for my husband to accompany our children along with him under sponsorship visa? Absolutely. We can put together a group application and all of you can come together, or maybe you can come ahead if your course is starting and your husband and kids can come in and join as soon as their visa is approved. But absolutely, the answer to both your questions, the first question, will there be a problem while you're studying and your husband cracks a job or can apply for residence? No. And for the second question, whether your husband can accompany your children, the answer is yes. Okay, cool, the way. Kevin has again asked me a question. Kevin, I'm going to start charging you now because you take asking me too many questions. Or I mean, when you come here, you got to buy me some drinks otherwise. Okay, let me answer Kevin's question because I've been clearing all his doubts. So, is it beneficial to study in Auckland rather than outside Auckland? What impact would that make when applying for jobs? Quite frankly, Kevin, I encourage people to look to study outside Auckland, and because while you're studying, you'll create a network, and people are finding jobs in every nook and cranny of New Zealand. So, I mean, there's just this mindset that a lot of people coming to New Zealand have that, if only if I stay in Auckland, will I be able to find a job? I don't think that's true. Yeah, I mean, Auckland is our largest city, so by default, that is where the opportunities will be. But people our students and our clients are finding jobs in every nook and cranny of New Zealand. So I don't think it's going to be a problem. And the benefit of studying outside of Auckland and while you're studying to create a network and then hopefully end up with a job in that particular city will be that you will get an extra 30 points towards eventual residency. And residency, as you know, is a points based system. And the higher the points, the faster you'll be picked up and processed. So why do you want to miss out on that advantage? So I would say don't worry about only being in Auckland because Auckland is also becoming expensive. It's become a bit crowded. So you're coming to New Zealand to enjoy the beauty of this country. So you might as well come and live in a place away from Auckland and enjoy real New Zealand. All right, cool. I think that brings me. I forgot to my. I have this little bell that I ring when my time is up. Not my time, the live sessions time. And so I don't have that bell because I took it to I was in a very, good mood and I took it to my office and I left it there so that Mary can use it in her live sessions. But I have another bell somewhere inside here, which I think I should not come and put on my table and then start ringing and saying, time is up. But hey guys, look, it was great as always to be here and answer all your questions. There are a few questions which I have not been able to answer. But my apologies to all of you. I do these sessions for about 1 hour, for various reasons. I think after 1 hour, by and large, people will get bored of seeing my face and listening to my voice, and they keep dropping off anyway. But today, surprisingly, there are still 41 people watching this session, which is great. But yeah, we can uh, answer all your questions. But one when I scroll up, I saw just one last question from Yuvraj Midha, who says he wants to do masters in New Zealand, and he's shared the ages of his wife and his kids, and he says, "Can I buy a house in New Zealand for my accommodation?" Unfortunately, no, Yuvraj. We recently introduced a new law here which prevents foreigners from buying houses here in New Zealand. But hey, look, if you're coming to New Zealand through AJB, and if your whole family is being, processed through AJB, come here. Once you come to New Zealand, you can talk to me. I'm a quite a senior business professional here in New Zealand, and if you have the money to buy a house, we can look at some other opportunities and options. Perhaps you could become an investor into some organization which buys, like we can, all kinds of possibilities can be worked out. So do get in touch with us, and I would really really like you, Yuvraj, to come to New Zealand through us. So before I wind up, that's how you can come to New Zealand through AJV. To do the names, the office numbers and email addresses in both India and New Zealand. Please contact the office nearest to you and in your time zone so that you can get immediate answers. And we'll be delighted to help you guys to come to New Zealand. And if you trust that that logo there, I promise you, you will never ever have any complaints after you reach New Zealand. And so, if you want to go have a good, happy future in New Zealand, choose HAB. Thank you, people, as always, for watching my live sessions. Thanks, my wonderful team, for the support as always. And did you guys realize I didn't cough even once? That's what a good workout does. All right. Okay, guys, till the next time, Kakiteyano, which is see you later, and Pomarie. Good night.